Breaking news! The buzz around the Denver Broncos right now is electric, and it's not just the usual preseason optimism. Something real is brewing in Colorado. The atmosphere is different, the intensity is rising, and the confidence among players and coaches is palpable. The Broncos are not just preparing for another season, they're gunning for a serious run, potentially all the way to the Super Bowl. But before we dive deep into what's been happening at training camp, make sure you smash that like button if you're a true Denver Broncos fan, especially if you've been riding with the orange and blue for more than 20 years. Comment down below, go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue. Now, let's get into it. There was a moment of panic when Dre Greenlaw appeared to tweak his hamstring during a drill with J.K. Dobbins. Social media went into a frenzy, especially considering Greenlaw's previous quad issue during OTAs. But Sean Payton quickly calmed the storm. All smiles at his press conference, Payton made it clear the injury is unrelated and minor. This is the perfect time to manage a small tweak. The preseason gives players like Greenlaw, who don't need many reps, a cushion to recover without pressure. Payton's demeanor said it all. If it were serious, he wouldn't have been so relaxed. And this isn't just about dodging an injury scare, it's about the entire vibe of this team. Veteran DJ Jones summed it up best when he declared with unwavering confidence, "You haven't seen anything yet." His presence, his tone, it all signals something brewing deep within this locker room. Belief. That belief isn't isolated. Tight end Adam Troutman, who's caught fire during training camp, especially from Bo Nix passes, stated that yesterday's session was the best practice he's had in his 3 years with Denver. Let that sink in. We're not even in week 1 yet. Speaking of Bo Nix, the rookie QB is already turning heads. Whether it's in clips showing him laughing with Sean Payton on the sidelines or delivering perfectly timed throws in red zone drills, Nix is exuding the poise of a veteran. And you can sense that Payton is genuinely enjoying himself again. Not the grumpy, irritable coach some feared would return after his media stint, but a rejuvenated leader loving every second of building something special. His press conferences are stretching beyond the expected 15 minutes. We're talking 25 to 30 minutes of engagement and insight, which tells you how much he's buying into this roster. The camaraderie on this team is infectious. Marvin Mims shared a hilarious exchange where he called out Malcolm Roach jokingly, calling him just a fat guy, prompting Roach to respond on social media with a middle finger emoji. It's this kind of locker room banter, the kind you usually only find in college football, that tells you players are bonded, fighting for each other, not just a paycheck. And in a league that often feels cold and transactional, that warmth is a recipe for greatness. Then there's Caleb Lohner, a 7th-round tight end who many mocked as another Sean Payton overhype. But the kid is making plays, multiple touchdowns in red zone drills against the first-team defense. He's big, physical, and already proving he belongs. Payton might just see another Jimmy Graham-type project coming to life here. Analysts like Cody Rourke and Zach Stevens are gushing about his size, strength, and potential. He's not just making the roster, he's going to be a weapon. And let's not forget Audric Estime. Once a fan favorite after his breakout Kansas City performance, he fell off the radar, leading some to speculate he was sulking over his spot on the depth chart. But now, 2 strong practices back-to-back, and he's showing that bruising, power back form again. Estime is still the youngest player on the team and could be the punishing closer Denver needs in late-game situations. One move flying under the radar but potentially critical was the IR designation for undrafted linebacker Johnny Walker. This isn't just injury management, it's roster strategy. Walker impressed enough that the Broncos want to keep him in the building without risking a 53-man roster spot. Think of it like an NFL redshirt year. And to fill that gap, they've brought in Garrett Nelson from Nebraska, a Butkus Award finalist. Still, with edge rushers like Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper, Dondre Tillman, Jonah Ellis, and Drew Sanders in the fold, outside linebacker is a crowded, competitive group. Nelson has talent, but the climb is steep. All of these pieces are coming together in a way we haven't seen in years. This team is healthy, physically, emotionally, culturally. Sean Payton's smile isn't just media posturing. It's genuine belief in the squad he's molding. From top veterans to undrafted rookies, there's synergy, and that synergy might just carry the Broncos deep into the postseason. Because when you really look at what's brewing inside Dove Valley, it's not just hype, it's a culture reset. That's what's so thrilling for diehard Broncos fans who've endured years of mediocrity. You don't just get players showing out individually, you get cohesion, buy-in, and a shared belief that this team is capable of something big. It's hard to fake that, and Sean Payton knows it too. You can see it not just in his extended pressers or sideline banter with Bo Nix, you see it in the way he's building the team from the ground up, with purpose. Let's zero in on Bo Nix again. This kid isn't acting like a rookie. He's stepping onto the practice field with command, and the veterans are responding. Adam Troutman catching lasers from Knicks and red zone drills isn't a coincidence. It's trust. It's reps turning into chemistry, and it's happening faster than anyone expected. The way Knicks is already integrating with Payton's system, known for its complexity, is borderline astonishing. There are whispers that Payton may be tailoring his offense to Knicks' strengths, something he's done in the past with Drew Brees. If that's the case, we might be witnessing the early stages of a franchise quarterback taking shape before our eyes. And don't overlook the defense. The Greenlaw-Hufanga tandem in the middle might end up being the most disruptive duo in the AFC. Sure, there was a brief scare with Greenlaw's hamstring, but all signs point to it being a precautionary rest. When he's healthy, he and Hufanga have the potential to turn the middle of the field into a no-fly zone. That forces offenses to test the edges, and that's where they'll meet Pat Surtain and Riley Moss. Moss has bulked up with 10 extra pounds of muscle and is reportedly faster and more physical than ever. If this defense holds the line and the offense capitalizes on its new rhythm, we could be looking at a complementary football powerhouse. And the good news doesn't stop there. Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito have been on absolute fire in camp. Benito, especially, looks to have taken a leap in development, showing more polish in his pass-rushing moves and relentless motor. It's not just that they're dominating backups, they're winning reps against starters. Add Dondre Tillman and Jonah Ellis to that mix, and you've got 4 legitimate threats on the edge, not to mention Drew Sanders transitioning to inside linebacker. This front 7 is shaping up to be dangerous. We can't overlook the locker room glue either. What makes this all so believable is the authenticity of relationships. Guys like Marvin Mims and Malcolm Roach can joke around and trade barbs without tension, because there's trust, and that matters. Championship teams are often built not just on talent, but on unity. DJ Jones bringing energy and confidence, players like Caleb Lohner proving they belong, Estime finding his groove again, it all adds up. Even Garrett Nelson, the Butkus finalist added after Johnny Walker went to IR, brings an intriguing energy. He may be a long shot to make the final roster, but what matters is that everyone in the building seems to be pushing each other. That's how you create depth. That's how you weather injuries during the season. And in the AFC, where every week feels like a playoff game, depth is non-negotiable. Johnny Walker going to IR might sting a bit, but it's also a smart play. This is a guy who beat Kansas City's first-round pick on tape. The Broncos saw enough to stash him for future development. If you're building a sustainable contender, this is how you do it. Retain talent, let them grow, and build layers of competition at every position. At the heart of all this is Sean Payton. You don't see coaches light up in press conferences unless they believe. He's past the prove-it phase of his career. He didn't come to Denver to rebuild. He came to win. And the way he's leaning into this team emotionally, strategically, and personally, it tells you he sees something special. His faith isn't empty words. It's being mirrored by players stepping up, from rookies to seasoned vets. It's being echoed by media voices, former players, and even national outlets starting to list the Broncos as a dark horse Super Bowl pick. You can feel the shift. This isn't the Broncos of the past few seasons. This is a group that's bonded, organized, and trending in the right direction. Training camp is just the beginning, but it's already giving us the clearest signs yet that Denver's time in the wilderness may be over. The pieces are in place. The leadership is established, and if this momentum carries into the regular season, Broncos country might be riding all the way to February. If you've made it this far, you're clearly one of the real ones. So hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you haven't already, and let us know in the comments what excites you most about this team. And don't miss the next video, it's right here on your screen now. Click it to keep this hype train rolling. Go Broncos!